Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
What's up, knuckleheads?
Hey guys, this is Ken Ramos.
Hello, military community.
What's up, Warriors? I'm Greg.
2020 has been a crazy year.
But along with our friends at Honey and Team Rubicon,
we can help you end it on a high note.
Honey is a free shopping tool that can automatically apply discounts when you shop online.
And Team Rubicon is a veteran-led nonprofit that provides aid to those hit hardest by the pandemic, hurricanes, and other disasters of 2020.
So to support Team Rubicon's amazing disaster relief work,
Honey is donating $1 for every one of you who download and install their free shopping tool.
This mission won't cost you a penny.
In fact, the average Honey user saves more than $125 a year.
And you'll help Team Rubicon help communities in crisis.
What's the catch?
There is no catch.
Honey makes a commission. It comes from the place you shop.
Not from you.
This is a no-brainer.
It's easy.
It's free.
You help donate to a great veteran-led nonprofit.
And you save a bunch of money. Cha-ching.
So this holiday season,
download and install.
Donate and save.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us as we team up for Team Rubicon.
Specialist Cross, and I'm here to brief you on the best idea for the Army that you've ever heard about.
All right, I'm fired up.
I never assumed it was going to be this big of a deal. I just wanted to get the product out there and, you know, help other motor pools that don't have this product. Well, it's humbling for sure because, you know, on that big a stage, just a specialist going in there with my idea, it's definitely humbling, but at the same time, it's something that I felt confident about going in. All the ideas were great ideas, but someone who works as a maintainer in the motor pool every day, I see my idea and my innovation being something that helps the masses. So it's an amazing feeling.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Apologize for being late, but you know what?
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Just whatever. We're just everyone's getting locked down, and fuck it.
We'll get here when we get here.
We'll get here when we get here. We
have
have had, try to get here on time. There's just been an interesting anomaly going on right now with all social media platforms. I don't know if you all realize it, but you just had like a flash of if you are on Facebooks or you are on the Twitterages and you're on the Instagrams, you may have had noticed a difference in your interface right there. And so I'm just letting you know, hey, we're fucking whatever. Well, if you're tuning in, thanks for being here. So whatever. Whatever. But at any rate, hi Spanky, how you doing?
I'm good. We made it.
Yeah, we made it. Yeah,
we made it here.
I mean, I was sitting there watching all the fucking. On the 19th of November in this year of our ice and dumpster fire, COVID dumpster fire, making sure that everyone's lives is ruined due to the plague. But hey, whatever. We just got to keep rolling on through. So have you guys noticed did you all see the movies and the videos in the beginning? You saw the winner of the 18th Armored Corps Dragon's Lair Innovation Challenge. Man, that little baby, the little Specialist Trevor Cross from the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault. It was definitely it was an awesome experience to be part of. That guy sounds like a girl. Who are you talking to, man? Which guy are you talking about? Division Safety Standard lesson this? And anyway, it was 5 panelists. And I think I don't know. It was an interesting. First off, I was honored to be part of the panel in discussing with the Specialist Cross for next SMA. Really, huh? And I was with other panelists. I was with I sat with Command Sergeant Major Holland, the 18th Airborne Corps Command Sergeant Major, Lieutenant General Carilla, and Command Sergeant Major Red. And Pete Singer, the author of the book Burn In and Ghost Fleet and Like War. It was an awesome event. There were 5 pitches. There were 5 innovative pitches that has had briefed in front of me. And some of these things this was like some straight Call of Duty shit, innovation stuff. And I was impressed. It was hard to pick. It was hard to be in. It was one of the hardest panels I think I've ever sat next to a promotion board. You know what I mean? And it was an experience. One of the things that I realize is that every command should have this. Every command should have an innovation challenge. There's a lot of, how do I say, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of, I don't know, you've thought of some stuff, right, Spanky, when you've been down the line?
Right. Well, I mean, that's just it. They're just like bringing it like up to the higher levels and not like, hey, this kid has a great idea that everybody can benefit from, but how does he put it forward?
Right.
They're just giving these soldiers and everybody a way to put like their great ideas forward.
Right. Well,
so yeah, I think it is a good idea for everybody else to, copy them.
You're
it's
right.
okay.
Exactly.
You can steal their ideas.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's the thing. You can steal the idea, or you could just have it. The biggest thing that I thought is that everybody had somebody was really, how do I say this? I don't know. It felt weird to just sit there. It was almost like getting an inbox. It was almost like if you had an idea or you had something you want to talk about in the inbox, they were right there sitting in and they were talking and blah, blah, blah. And it was awesome because I like the fact that a specialist, a warrant officer, a sergeant major, sergeant first class, and a captain all brought innovative things that would have had that actually have major implications to the force, to not just the Corps itself, but to the entire DoD. You guys saw the video where Trevor Cross, Specialist Cross, had his has attachment to the forklift that was innovative. It was simple. It's simplistic. Everyone says, well, there's happened. There's other things that are public domain. There's this stuff that you could get on the commercials, what was off the shelf and all that. But this is more. I will say this. I think I've seen enough Tories. How the Rockasons have that red Tory thing. I think I saw a lot of Torying of excellence, and so
they'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. They'll let you know. They're all about the Rockasons and stuff like that. But there were some commercial applications that are already out there, but this was more of like a militarized, ruggedized version of that forklift assistant device. And he had, like I said, moving trailers without their prime movers, moving equipment without their prime movers. Had almost like it was like a Joe. I don't know, when how Joe likes to do Joe stuff, and there you go. There's your one thing. I can talk about the other stuff. The other stuff was that I thought was pretty cool was the sergeant major had this. He was a medic, and he's going through BCAP right now, and he had a device like a gauntlet, like a playbook, like a triage thing that you would have, like a sleeve, like Infinity Glove type shit, right? Like a playbook, and it went up and it had flex screen stuff. And it was like he was pushing on these little buttons, and it triaged, and it hooked up to glasses and had command, and it had ocular insert device. Some of this stuff was like, holy crap. I was shocked due to the fact that he was, I don't know. Well, first off, this guy for a sergeant major, I'm not saying that, I'm not speaking for all sergeant majors that we're all not, we don't have the kid in us, but this guy was definitely having a good, I don't know, he was into and passionate to what he has had given to him. He was in the medical field, and so it was almost like an augmented reality, virtual reality treatment that currently would connect to current medical technologies. And it was awesome. It was awesome. So just imagine you're in the battlefield, and you hook up like a little Disney band, like a Fitbit on your wrist, and everybody has it on there, right? And they're all running around, and they're on the battlefield, and he's able to track on digits. With medical biometric and biotech information going to a mainframe, and then it was tracked over GPS. And this is just, mind you, that was pretty, the way he was explaining it was pretty funny. And he literally had almost an entire display, almost like strategic level. So if somebody were to get hit, he'd walk up to the casualty, begin his triage through his gauntlet, and then like through his glasses, a doctor would come up in the little screen and tell him what to do, and like almost do like an overlay of his. So his idea was actually a more of a strategic, larger, 15 other innovative practices can come out of it, and then hook up to telemedicine and stuff like that. It was awesome. So any of you guys that want to play Xbox or something like that, continue. He almost had like a Call of Duty Ghost Recon set to it, and it was pretty cool. And then it networked into that. And then another one was was a protective device, like a shield that protected a condenser that was on a piece of equipment that is used to cool and freeze food, medical supplies, and all that. And the way it hooks up to a vehicle, and this is the warrant officer's pitch, we're able to hook it to a vehicle, and when the hook sometimes would hit the condenser, it would cause $10,000 to $13,000 worth of damage. Well, the shield would go over that condenser, and when that happened, then that would be a like a protectant to. Oh, hang on, someone's calling. Let's see. WTF Nation Radio, are you on the air?
Hey, it's your friend Joe Bacino.
Hey, whoa, shit. Hey, well, hang on. We're still talking, so yeah, you can just stay on the line and turn off the phone behind you. So I was just going through all the pitches and all that, and I'm at the Chiefs pitch about the condenser protective shield. All I remember was seeing a bunch of Tories in my face and Rockasons, and so I was just kind of like, guys, we have Joe Bacino, Colonel Joe Bacino, the public affairs officer for the 18th Airborne Corps, with us on the line. So he's going to sit there and laugh at me, kind of pitch and articulate what was being briefed to me. At any rate, and so the way the vehicle would hook up to this what was that thing called again? Now I'm glad you're here. It was like a cooling device, like a big giant refrigerator that goes on the back of a truck.
Yeah, it's the MTRS, which stands for something like something or other refrigerator system. I don't remember the T.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I got you three of the other letters.
Yeah, exactly.
Potty.
And so I don't have to go potty. You told me to go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm talking to my dog. I'm so sorry.
Talking to the dog.
And I was about to say, why are you telling Joe to go potty? I'm like, that's messed up. He just got on here. But
I really thought I hit the mute button, so sorry.
At any rate, so it basically protected the condenser from being hit by the hook of the PLS system that goes onto the multi-wheeled truck to transport it. So that right there got pitched. The next one was an app that was used to upload photographs from family members, service members, veterans, to a system to kind of catalog and historically log all photos that are not on the digital domain, and that was with the Sergeant First Class Savage. And the way she articulated all that is that she articulated from the app load up all the way up until the application itself, where it would go, where the website would be hooked up to. That was an awesome one too, because she displayed a large panoramic picture. That thing had to have been like freaking, I don't know. It looked like it was an age. What did she? She said that picture was from the 1914 or something like that, or.
Yeah, it was from before the formation of World War II, formation of World War II units. So I think it was like 39, 40.
Yeah, it was pretty old, and so she pitched that idea. The next one was, and the last one was the behavioral health situation, the behavioral health needs with the Army and the way they have had a shortage of behavioral health social workers in the system and the credentialing process to go through that. This is like a heavily medical. I mean, you had to understand the medical side of the house and the AMED side of the house to get the big picture of what she was talking about, and it was incredible and eye-opening at just some of the shortcomings and shortfalls that our credentialing process has for military medical personnel. That it opened. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Did you get kind of like a? You saw all of our reaction when she pitched it, so I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the concept. I knew her concept before that, and her story is compelling. She followed this procedure. She was an E7 who had a licensed master social work license, which is a LMSW license. Now, I didn't know what that was until I dug into this, but and had no real way to get credentialed to perform behavioral health services. So she basically figured it out for herself, and that's now what she does for the Army. And so she was basically looking to apply what she'd done for herself into a policy across 1st 10th Mountain Division, then 18th Airborne Corps, and then the broader Army. And, the reaction on that one that I really thought summarized my view on that was Pete Singer said, I don't understand, why doesn't this exist in the Army right now? Nobody had a real answer on that.
No, I mean, there's a lot of things that we understood that why wasn't it in the Army, or why isn't this in the Army system right now? How was your now that you're on here, so tell us, give us your pitch on it. So we just concluded. And Specialist, Trevor Cross was the winner. What is he? How was his reaction when you guys talked to him?
So General Kurilla called him this morning. So we had to stage it and manufacture it to the extent that we could. So I called all 5 last night and I said, hey, you're going to get a call. You may get a call at 8 a.m. Eastern from General Kurilla, just thanking you. He may tell you if you want or not. So in that situation, they didn't know who had won. And then this morning, General Kurilla, the first one he called was Specialist Cross. So he was sitting by the phone because I warned him to be by the phone. And I didn't realize, 808 on this end is 07 on that end in Fort Campbell. So the first thing General Kurilla asked him was like, how come you're not doing PT? And he's like, well, your colonel told me to wait by the phone. So he's like, what? You told him not to do PT? And he's like, okay, yeah, yes. So anyway, then he told him, he won. And, he registered surprise immediately. And then he was just very grateful to have a general calling him, congratulating him, and talking about his idea, talked a little bit about implementation. And then we called the other 4. So, but, Ken, that's how my morning started, getting yelled at because Specialist Cross wasn't doing PT.
Well, I was about to say, you would think, so I would have just kind of waited. Why did you set him up like that, man?
because there's a force com, Ken. There's a force com today. General Kurilla had to be there at 8:30. So, the only time for him to call was between 8 and 8:20. So, I didn't do the math. I completely forgot they're in a different time zone. Between you and I and whoever's listening to this, I was told by the CP to call him at.
Hey, did you want to go through some outtakes?
No.
No. Oh, come on, dude. This was. Can we just have one? Can we just talk about one?
One of the outtakes, yeah. So I should say, we did this over Microsoft Teams for Pete Singer and for 2 of the contestants. One of the contestants was at SMAPS, our major assessment program, and the other, Lisa Bailey, just couldn't. Given the COVID thing, she would have had to have quarantined on that end going back, and it didn't make any sense to do that. So we had some other people on the Microsoft Teams call that weren't authorized to be on the Microsoft Teams call, and so let's not go any further. You give me trouble all over again. I just got out of the doghouse, okay? And then I'm back in it for this guy's not doing PT, and it's my fault. So don't put me back in there.
I just thought it was funny that we should have had some. I don't know. It was just that was the. My bad. It was just. I just thought it was kind of comical. Okay, I'll say this here.
Oh, it was.
Between us. Okay, real quick. Shh, it'll just be between us right now. So. We were doing the panel, right? And then we had this thing going on, and then we didn't realize that we had 2 reporters in the panel while we were shooting the shit and laughing and playing, joking around and stuff like that. So these 2 reporters were in the thing, listening to all of us going blah, 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 blah. And, so that was funny. So, there you go. Okay, so secrets kept with us. We're good to go. I don't think anyone's going to tell anything.
No. Not the end of the world either. Yeah.
No, it's not. No, I just thought it was funny. Hey, so
it's not like we gave away, government secrets or some sort of Iran strike that was imminent or some sort of GRF mission.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's right. But anyways, so what's going to happen with Cross now? So now that you give him a call, what's next on the Cross front?
So his MSM was signed. His military service memo. Now his MSM. He was given an MSM. Was he given an MSM for winning? No. He was given an MSM because he developed an idea, developed a presentation for his idea, and developed a plan for implementation. So it was, if it wasn't signed, it's going to be signed in the morning, and that'll go forward to the 101st for presentation tomorrow. And so very likely General Winsky will present that tomorrow. General Winsky, the commander of the 101st, will present that tomorrow. They will adjudicate his time off, and he has not decided on which Army school of choice he will attend, and he has until we come out of Thanksgiving to make that decision.
I thought it was pretty cool that all the finalists, when we asked them, or actually when General Kurilla and Command Sergeant Major Holland asked, "Hey, what school do you want to go to?" None of them thought that. None of them thought about what school to go to. They actually had thought they were there to pitch an idea, and to them they were thinking more of the Corps and the Army as opposed to themselves. So that's one of the things that I appreciated just hearing that. So to me, everyone was like, "What? You threw them all off." when General Kurilla asked them that question, "Hey, what school do you want to go to?" and they're like, "Yeah, what?" I don't think they expected that.
They hadn't thought about the spoils of winning at all. They really had just thought about how to present their idea, and how to present their idea, and then to manage the subsequent questions to the extent that they could, and also about implementing this thing across the Corps. So for them, it was just about their idea.
Now, what's the next step on this shit? Are you guys going to continue with this stuff? Are we gonna see more of this? Are we gonna have has this been implemented across the Army? What's the? I know I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions because you like to blab anyway. So, what's the? What's the future of the Dragon's Lair or Dragon's Lair like concepts?
So the next one we're not going to do one in December. The next one we're going to do is January, and probably third week in January, and what we're hoping is that the publicity around all this, the folks listening to this show, the folks that are watching it or looking at the videos and are aware of it now through social media and the Military Times articles, will go to the website and implement their ideas. And we'll have more ideas to choose from in January. We think that's very likely. So we'll do one in January, middle of January, and then from there we're likely to do one quarterly. So we probably won't go monthly. We'll do one quarterly. And we've been getting calls all day. So Fort Benning, the Military Center of Excellence, their Maneuver Center of Excellence, is starting one I think as early as December. We got calls from some other divisions outside of the 18th Airborne Corps. A Air Force unit. So, we've been getting calls from across DOD about implementation on this, and we explained when we get those calls, I explained the concept. I provide the concept of operation and how we made the selection. So, it's certainly picking up. The Army's aware of it. Top of the Army's aware of it. Other parallel units are aware of it. People are talking about it. That was our goal. This bring up something that I want to bring up something that General Kurilla said. He wanted us to check out once it's completed. Tell us about this innovation lab. What's this used? What is this used? Can you give us a little bit of a hint, sneak peek behind the curtain type? Yeah,
shit?
the innovation lab is the formal title is the Innovation Campus. So here on Fort Bragg, if you're familiar with Fort Bragg, as you are, Ken, the Old Officers Club, which is in about less than a half mile from the Corps headquarters, will be converted into a Google-style innovation headquarters, a complex. And the funding's already approved, plans are approved. This will be complete around this time next year, but there's going to be progress along the way. And so we will have our Project Ridgeway. Project Ridgeway is our plan to operationalize a lot of the programs in the enterprise level programs at Army's Futures Command with machine learning, AI, data science, all the things that you are kind of interested in, Ken. Operationalize.
Why you just call it? You're calling it. You're like, I am proud of my nerddom. So yes, you could say that. I know. I was.
I know it.
I was geeking out big time in there. So go ahead, continue. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. So we'll have a staff that resides in there. The Project Ridgeway staff. We'll also have a team of data scientists, soldiers. There's only four soldiers are in this Project Ridgeway program, but we're getting the word out to more soldiers. More soldiers are going to compete to enter the program, and there's a heavy training element behind that. So, it's going to look very cool. It's going to represent our focus on the development of our culture innovation, and it's going to be an interesting place to work, and it's also going to drive the 18th Airborne Corps into the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
So with is this going to be? Did you guys are you using this as kind of like a way to assign people to this innovation lab? I mean, are you going to use because when you think about it, you already got a sergeant major, you already have a warrant, you already got a Joe, you have a captain and a sergeant first class. So would you be considering that as in other words, that's almost like it almost seems like that would be a screening characteristic for somebody to work in that lab.
So I think what we're screening are the ideas rather than the innovators. So if you think about, Lisa Bailey is in behavioral health. That's a critical field, as she identified. Captain Lisa Bailey from 10th Mountain Division. Sergeant Major Cologne is in a critical field at Womack, in a critical position there at Womack. Chief Silden works in a motor pool. So you couldn't really pull them out of their positions without inflicting some kind of pain on their units or some other element of life and service in the 18th Airborne Corps. So you wouldn't do that, but these ideas screen through for potential implementation. And depending where they are in the process when the innovation campus is fully operational, those would be problems that element would work on.
Cool. Well, shit, man.
Yeah.
Is there?
Just one other thing on this is General Kurilla identified today that all five of these innovations will go forward for implementation at some level. So the easiest one, the easiest one in terms of implementation seems to be Sergeant First Class Ashley Savage and her photo collection portal. So we already started moving out on that today. The hardest one, obviously, is the med band, Sergeant Major Cologne's medical device.
The gauntlet,
wearable by.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna move forward for implementation. All of these now. The question is, do we reach out to Army Futures Command? Do we reach out to Army? Do we try to go it alone? Funding. There's a lot of those questions that we've got to answer here in the coming days. But knowing General Kurilla like you do now, we're gonna have to move out quickly and getting answers and coordinating all this.
No, that's I'm just thinking about so with each of the innovative practices, are you still going to use these? I mean, even though you selected this individual, are each of these pitches, are they going to be, like you just said, implemented? I mean, because you're not just going to stop the chief idea from not happening. It's going to continue, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's going to continue. The first one, the very first winner of Dragon's Lair was the Rangefinder app.
Right.
Major Evan Adams from the 101st. And so we moved very quickly on that one, on a glide path for implementation. We believe we're going to have a prototype in February, and that's like lightning fast. Now, not fully operational, but a prototype developed by February. So we're moving out on that. We're going to move out on these other ideas. And, we've always got to show progress, and we think we can do that.
That's another thing, too. How much did you think collectively, and this is just off the top of the head, just take a swag, how much do you think the innovations right now saved the government or saved the Army?
Oh, the main savings were, Chief Aaron Seldon from the 101st had I think he identified $4 million in a fiscal year for that protector plate. So, there's a cost savings and then there's a time savings, I think, for moving the trailer-based generators, which is the idea that one, that's mostly like a time savings. You're saving a lot of time there. And then Lisa Bailey, again, that's more of a time savings. So, there's manpower savings, efficiencies, cost savings, and all of that is in the mix here as we go forward with the implementation of these innovations.
I with her idea with the behavioral health procedure, is that something that could be highlighted and brought out, so that way it could forego all the BS and bureaucratic crap that what I mean. Is there a way ahead more for what she pitched that is long term that can have potential effects for other MOSs within the medical field?
Oh, I don't know because where you run into a potential problem is like licensing, and she's already done the math on and done the homework and the analysis on licensing and credentialing for behavioral health. Where you get into licensing and credentialing for other medical fields, it's hard to crosswalk that specific idea. Essentially, and I'm finding this out through her concept, you get that licensed master's social work degree license, and then you need a certain number of hours working with behavioral health specialists. And so her program provides that through the Army. It really just makes a lot of sense. It's hard to mirror that in other medical fields.
Is that going to be a potential? In other words, I mean, maybe it's because this is going to go into some talent management as well for the NCOs and the officers. Well, except for Cross, he's just a Joe. I mean, he's a specialist, but I mean, he needs to go to the board. He needs to go to the promotion board.
He needs to go to the board. Yeah. So the PAO folks for the Army Talent Management Task Force actually reach out to us, and we're looking at the idea, and we gave them some things to think about. But yeah, I mean, talent management is a part of this. Particularly when we look at our innovation focus with our Project Ridgeway, machine learning, data science. There's a soldier he's in our 7th TBX, which is in 7th Expeditionary Transportation Brigade in Fort Eustis, Virginia. He has a degree in data science. So we're bringing him into Project Ridgeway. It makes a lot of sense to move him in there for 2 years. Now, after 2 years, he may have to change his MOS. But, the talent management concept is within this culture of innovation, putting the right people, the right skills, the right talents in the right places to innovate and to move the Corps faster.
Awesome. So what's I'm assuming that's another question too. What is Command Sergeant Major Red's background?
She is 3rd ESC, or 3rd Expeditionary Sustainment Command, which is a 1-star command that's treated like one of the separate brigades, one of the Corps separate brigades. It's not. It's a 1-star command, but she has a sustainment transportation maintenance background, so she was a good fit for the protector plate, which she understood going in, and also for the Specialist Cross's forklift attachment. and we gave her background on the other elements. But, you know, it's a good fit. You know, she's a first sergeant, so she understands, you know, human resources.
She understood a lot, especially when that's some talent that she had. That's why I bring her up, is because she is the ESC CSM, and she was able to bring up networking stuff that was specific cyber implications in IT. So when she was asking about the VSATs and the networking systems and all that, I was thinking, man, Sergeant Major's talking the geek stuff. So I just thought that was what I was curious about her background.
Yeah, it was good. She was really impressive, and then Pete Singer was really good. He was able to distill a nugget of wisdom for each one of them. You know, so he had a question and a comment for everybody, and I'm not sure how much he read through the read-ahead material we sent him, but you know, he picked everything up pretty quickly and had a really insightful question for everybody. He was really good. We intended to, and we did, bring in a specialist, kind of an expert in the field for each of them. I don't even know if you noticed that. They kind of came in and were in that back corner. I'm not sure they contributed a whole lot, so I don't know if we'll continue that. I don't know that you needed it.
It did because when you brought the maintenance officer, you brought the surgeon. Who else did you bring in there? You had it was almost like you had a. But it was almost, I wouldn't say it was like a verification check. You know what I mean? To ensure that they weren't going out in the left field. All the pitches that we have seen, though, really kind of stayed within the confines of a low-cost environment, like the CG said. And so it to me, I just thought it was pretty impressive that they were there, kind of like listening to them and then airing out their concerns by saying, hey, did you think about this or did you think about that? Especially the doc. The doc, he was he was a cardiologist, so he was kind of like going, well, I don't want to like miss. I know doctors get butthurt when you misname them, so he was like a heart surgeon or a cardiologist or something like that. Isn't that what he was?
He's a cardiologist. Yeah, he's a cardiologist, but he has. So Doc Bimson, Will Bimson, he's an interesting guy. So he was with me in the 82nd under General Kurilla.
Right.
Another. We're part of the old K posse brought over to Corps. And so he had management of behavioral health. So he understood that issue. And he pre-screened both of those, Lisa Bailey and Sergeant Major's medical band. He pre-screened both of those. So he had an understanding of that. And he also socialized it with medical command ahead of the Dragon's Lair. So, had a good understanding of those two, and he was a good addition there with certainly a trusted agent for General Kurilla.
Yeah, it was a pretty, and then of course the maintenance house is So we covered all that. Now you had some big names kind of pushed on this. Actually pushed it out. Can you give us a list and some of the individuals who that brought it up? I won't steal your thunder, but who advertised for, or I shouldn't say advertised, but who gave the shout outs for you for the Corps?
Well, I know you didn't think I know The Rock, you didn't think I know Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you going to go from there once he shouts it out?
Well, where are you going to go from there? Who else did you have?
Well, we still have some people that are going to shout out.
Well, we're talking about I'm talking about the hype, the beginning. You also had who else? You don't remember who you had, Jim?
I just remember getting, getting the Rock. That was a story. I mean, we had an immediate agreement to do it, but getting him to say it and that was a very long journey. It's kind of its own story. To say the right thing, we need him to say is 18th Airborne Corps, Fort Bragg, and Dragon's Lair, some combination of those. And we had somebody in between The Rock and me, and that person we just was thinking Air Force, and they weren't understanding. Once I removed, and it took like 6 hours. Once I removed that person, The Rock nailed it. It was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Who else did we have? We had some of the people from Shark Tank. We had, did we have, who's in the Karate Kid? Do we have the guy from the Karate Kid? I don't remember. Who else?
Oh my God. You had Randy Couture. He's a fan of the
Randy
WT.
Couture.
Yeah. And then who else? Who else?
And we had Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell.
And I don't know. We had it was like the last 5 days have been a whirlwind, man. I don't remember. It was a blur of things that happened to lead up to this. All those things happened on this past Saturday, with those shout outs. So yeah, I don't remember who else we had.
Man, dude, it's like a whirlwind, huh? You just really forget. I mean,
Yeah, it's been since Friday last week. It's been a journey for me, man. It's been a journey putting this thing together.
All right, we're gonna take a break right quick, and then we'll be right back. So everybody, pour your glass, get some shots. I see you Space Force shit talking in there, so everyone will be right back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
don't know the animal I have become, so won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Well, I know life is short. Mom, you know I always try to do my best. Should've listened when you told me I wouldn't be caught in this mess. Gotta go now, Dad, I'm sorry. Everybody, all y'all need to know this is life, a true story. When you chase ass down in Mexico, save me, save me. Won't you save me, save me, save me, save me. Won't you please put me out of my little misery?
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Talking about, oh yeah, so a lot of Army stuff happening. I don't know if you guys, real quick, with the Army has released and identified the individuals that crashed in the Sinai multinational force mission, and so our hearts go out to the families. It's really sad. A lot of individuals didn't know that we had that mission going on already, but as we discussed it before when me and Flash talked about it, that the reason, I don't know, it just seems like everyone is everyone's really quick to jump in to do a deployment, but then forget that once the deployment happens, there's individuals that have to still do it, and they still have to deploy and all that, and they're still there. So the multinational force. So again, our hearts go out to the family. There was 5 soldiers that were involved in the mishap. The names are, I'm just going to read them right quick. So Captain Seth Vernon Vandekamp, 31 from Katy, Texas. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Dallas Gerard Garza, 34 from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Chief Warrant Officer 2, Marwan Sami Jabor, 27 from Marlborough, Massachusetts. Staff Sergeant Kyle Robert McKee, 35 from Painesville, Ohio. And Sergeant Kane Sermon from 23 years old from Watseka, Illinois, that were among the 7 killed when the aircraft crashed. A French and a Czech service member were also killed in the crash as well. So the Czech Republic's military confirmed one of the fatalities was Czechoslovakian Sergeant Major Michaela Ticha. A French military officials identified the Lieutenant Colonel Sebastien Bota as a French casualty. I almost went to the Francais right there. I mean, I almost started speaking French. One service member was also injured in the crash, but has not been identified. So a defense official told Military Times that on Thursday that there's zero indication of malicious activity involved in the crash. An Egyptian official said the U-860 Blackhawk was on a reconnaissance mission, and it crashed near the island of Tiran, apparently because of technical failure. So MFO officials said an investigation is currently underway, but gave no further details. So again, I just want to, hearts out to the family, and we are expressing our condolences to them. Really sad. All right, so what's the next one? The next one kind of has this one we were talking about and you guys can find this story on our WTF Nation Radio Facebook page. But this story right here is coming up, and I know it's not active duty stuff, but it has to do with veterans. But this is kind of like it's a COVID thing. So we want to talk about this. We're probably going to get kicked off Facebook because every time we talk about politics or COVID, recounts and votes, we might as well. You guys might just go to the TuneIn app or go to Twitter or go to Twitch because we're probably going to get dropped every time we talk about COVID or whatever. So So the VA is recruiting volunteers for COVID clinical trials. You gonna do it, Spanky? You gonna
Absolutely not.
You're not gonna do the Rona test? We survived anthrax. We survived gamma goblin. What was the other one we had? What was the other crazy shot that we had? 5 different types of typhoid and Hep A shots.
Smallpox one.
Oh yeah, and the smallpox ones.
Smallpox.
Yeah, twice, because we've been in the army. We were in the army long enough to get it twice.
Oh, I didn't have to get it the second time because I had an adverse reaction the first time. She said, "No, you don't have to do that one again."
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got some kind of, I think it was a heat rash, but it was right around the time I got the smallpox shot, so they were just like, "No, we're not going to do this to you again." And I didn't even know I did get it as a kid. I was like too young that, like when all the kids used to get it, I was too young to be one of those kids. But my mom's like, "No, you and your brother got it," like, because we had to get it when we were going overseas. My dad was in the military too.
Right.
So we did have to get it at some point. And she said, "No, you and your brother, my middle brother, not the youngest brother, he didn't get it because he wasn't born yet. But we got it." And she's like, "Oh, well," and that's probably why I didn't get a big huge scar, but I did get some kind of rash. So they said I didn't have to get it the second time. I'm like, "Nope." So, and I was like, "Look, it says exempt right there. You're not giving it to me again. No.
It's exempt.
I already got a tattoo to cover up my scar. So
right.
No, we're not doing this again."
It's funny. A lot of individuals are saying no, they're not gonna get it. Why would you not want to get it? I mean, would you?
I haven't even got the flu shot since I got out.
Right, because I got it when I first joined way back in the day, and then a specific amount of time had expired, and they said, "Well, yeah, when did you get it last? When you first joined?" I'm like, "Yeah, when did you join?" Like, 1989. They're like, "What?" Oh no, you need a kid. You're due. It's like every 10 years or something like that, or whatever. I'm just curious. I'm kind of wondering, would individuals not want to get it? Why wouldn't they get it? As part of
I'm gonna let it go through the people that have to get it first and see how many of them have crazy side effects.
You sound like the individuals who wait on getting a video game. And they go, "Yeah, I'm going to wait till all the bugs are worked out." Is that
right,
what you?
But I don't have to pay $500 for a PS5 or whatever number they're on.
Right.
I can't keep up with the Xbox because they don't go in order. They just come up with crazy names
yeah,
for it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I have no idea what they're on right now.
Right,
it's like
exactly.
Xbox 360 or the 5.
Right.
I don't fucking know.
So why would you wait? Well, I mean, you don't have to answer, but why would you wait?
Well, no, I'll say because COVID, as a matter of fact, it was a year ago today that the first identified case of COVID happened in Wuhan, China. So it's already been out in the world for a year. I know people that have got it that have taken every precaution and worn masks and, barely go out. I think if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. I would not be surprised if what I was sick with in December was COVID. It was just classified as an upper respiratory infection.
Of course.
But I just think it's one of these things that it's either going to be like the flu and it's going to be here forever now, and it's just going to change up every year, and you're going to have to get a shot for it every year now, or it's going to run its course and eventually either affect everybody and then everybody's going to eventually build up immunity to it. So I'm just like, no, I'm not getting a shot. That's why I don't get a flu shot either. I'm either going to get sick. I have asthma, so that kind of makes me a little higher risk, but I don't think I'm at the point where with the flu or anything, I don't think that's what's going to take me out of this world. There's been a lot of things that I've tried, and I don't think it's going to be COVID or the flu. If it is, then that's, the plan, whatever. I just don't think that's it. I'm not an anti-vaxxer or anything, my kid has all their vaccinations.
Right.
But
I just kind of thinking because, they have gone through the processes of, I don't know, maybe it's because all the vaccinations that we've always gotten in the military have been kind of I don't know, you got to get shots. Oh, okay. And then you walk over and get shots and then that's it. So then what?
Yeah, we had no choice then, but
right.
Most of the ones we get in the military are normal shots that everybody gets, except for probably anthrax, everything else that I got in the military, they're not new things, that civilians don't get too. I'm sure you were a little more special than me, you didn't just sit behind the desk or do chemo things, So you probably got some extra stuff.
I do.
that
I
didn't
got
get.
I got a lot of fucking shots. So I was just kind of wondering, because in my time in Africa, you get a lot of shots, and so I was just curious that if I don't know, maybe it's because I don't think it's a big deal, or maybe it is, or maybe it's not, but these immunizations are coming from the same place that are from the same manufacturer. If that makes any sense. So in other words, I think
No, it does.
It's
But
like
this is something completely new, and like I said, it's just a year old today. And who have they tried this on? It won't be me first. Like, I mean, this isn't like a deadly disease. Like, let's say I had AIDS and they have a new vaccine for AIDS. I'm like, oh yeah, sign me up. Or I had cancer. Oh yeah, sign me up. Like, you can use me as a skinny pig. You know, like.
that's what I'm saying.
But this is, like I said, this is not like a disease with a very high mortality rate for someone like me. You know, maybe if I was like 80, and I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Like, use me as a guinea pig now, because it'll probably kill me if I got it.
But I want, that's what I'm saying. I want to be. I don't know. Maybe it's. I'm weird like that though. If someone said, "Ken, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take some of your limbs off and conduct some sort of biomechanical attachment to your legs," I'd be like, fucking A. You know how Arnold was all smiling in Total Recall when he leaned back in the chair? He had this big smile on his face because he was gonna do something he shouldn't have done, and that's gonna be me walking into a freaking go ahead, take my legs or arms and we want to graft this to your bone and see if it can work. And I'm kind of curious like that. I like murder. I mean, not murder porn. I should say medical porn, murder porn. Whoops, was that a Freudian slip? Let me go ahead
You're
and.
really gonna get us sucked.
I'm gonna go ahead and just remove us from that. I'll edit that in the podcast later. That's right, Space Force. You have a choice, don't you? Don't you have a choice? I'm just wondering.
I mean, I have a choice now. I mean, I've taken all the things they made me take, and
right. But again,
I didn't have any severe side effects. But no, I'm not going to do it. No, I won't be the first one. Like, oh, pick me. You could be the pick me. Pick me harder, please. No, not me.
No, I'm just thinking it's funny because that there's a lot of individuals that didn't mind rolling in and I don't know, you get a shot and then exactly, Chris. Think about the mefequin, the anthrax, smallpox, and all this stuff. Exactly, just exactly that. I kind of think the same thing. I'm just kind of wondering is it a big deal to not take it? Because only a amount of the shots that I've ever received over my lifetime, to include some of the stuff that they had said. My biomechanical parts would come from Harbor Freight. Exactly. I'm gonna have to find a good fabricator. I don't know, for biomedical stuff though, mechanical stuff. I think they wouldn't. I don't think they'd be chintzy on that. They would kind of. I think they would kind of go all out. You would think. Well, I mean, I have some friends in DARPA that would probably. I'd call them up and say, "Hey man, hook it up. I got bad leg. If you want to remove the lower half of my spine, but I can still walk, go for it. I'll be like Darth Maul in Star Wars, where he's half.
No,
half
they're gonna give you one made out of aluminum foil,
duct tape. They're gonna 100-mile-an-hour tape and like a broomstick or something like that. What the hell is this on my leg? Yeah, exactly. I thought you guys were gonna fix my leg. Oh no, this is the latest in military technology. I'm just
with the lowest bidder.
I'm always. What I'm saying though is that I'm just curious because what I don't. If we were able to take it and it was expected in the military to take it and do it, then why would it not be that you couldn't take it? I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's one of those, you were okay with taking all, like you said, Chris said, mefequin one day. There was mefequin one day. There was all these other anti-malarials and antibacterials that you had to take when you were deployed downrange or when you were overseas in an area where, you just look at dirt and it kicks up on you and you're going to get sick of something. You would normally want to. You didn't bother. It didn't bother you to take it. I mean, I still have a bottle of mefequin. Sometimes when I have crazy dreams or I want to have more crazy dreams, I take mefequin because you get some mad mefequin one days, man. You get some mad freaking dreams. I've been shit. I don't even need. I think I still have residuals because I'm having mad dreams about everything lately. It's been crazy.
I do too, all the time, but I'm pretty sure that's just because, I'm a little batshit in my head. Like, anything
Are
to
you?
do.
Are you really? Oh, you're not batshit.
I mean, you saw that meme I posted.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Barbie stuff.
With the chick.
That is my brain. I try to sleep all the time.
Okay. Okay, let me tell you a secret. I had I don't know if it was a dream. Okay, so here's the thing. I took a nap on the couch, right? And, baby Ice is playing on, he's getting older now, and he knows how to manipulate the Xbox. And I'm thinking, fuck yeah, dude. And, I'll hear him, like, in the house, and he's a toddler. He's clumsy still, but I'm like dozing off the couch. And I remember seeing that meme of what was the Barbie head on a chicken with a knife or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like,
with the toy pistol.
With the toy pistol, exactly. I saw that shit, right? I had, I don't know, maybe a micro dream or something like that, because like I said, I was dozing on and off on the couch. I had a dream that I was laughing at that, and it was me and you and some other friends were like in an area, like, and we were laughing at that meme. We were laughing and we were trying to make the meme like in real life. So we were going to the house trying to find the girls a Barbie so we could get the Barbie head. We had to have been like, I don't know, maybe we were intoxicated or some shit. It just felt so surreal. But maybe shit like that. Maybe it gave you that I don't know, that Mephiquin moments or fantasies. What do you want to call them? But there's just some things that, my luck, they gave me the COVID shot, and that's when the zombies happen. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the...
Are you going to become the zombie because you took the COVID shot?
No.
And I'm going to be the one that has to shoot you in your brain. So
Just
you
look
don't
at the...
eat
I'll just say, Ken, look at the flowers, and I'll be just fine. I've lived... I would consider and say, hey, just make sure you take care of the little ones. Assign some guardianship to you and throw you some cash, and all I gotta do is I can. It's like interchangeable the way my life has been fucking going. So yeah, there you go.
I got them. I got all the kids. Yeah. Got them all taken care of because I ain't taking that fucking shot.
You're taking no shot. Know what I'm saying? But my biggest.
I'm dying of COVID, and you'll be just fine. And okay, you take care of the kids.
That's like the freaking standard nightmare scenario that you would have for like a science fiction movie. Just read how the story, because you're always watching movies and there's always stuff happening in the background, and then it somehow, if you didn't pay attention to the first time, when you watch the movie the second time, then you'll notice like a news report, or you'll notice somebody talking about an event happening that has to do with the movie. So I can just imagine right now somebody's listening to this podcast, or listening, on air later, and they're sitting there and they're talking about, Ice and Spanky talked about the VA is recruiting volunteers for COVID clinical trials. This reads like a freaking science fiction movie. That means as part of a U.S. Department of Affairs fight against COVID pandemic, the department announced today that its nationwide effort to recruit volunteers for COVID-19 at select VA facilities across the country. You know what I mean? You could just that's a freaking nightmare at the beginning. All right, night, Tyler. That's a nightmare right there.
I'm gonna probably dream about this tonight now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know.
I'm gonna text you in the morning.
Please do, but please, because this is funny. It's almost like I don't want to. Of course, we love our veterans. We are veterans. We love veterans and all that. And we are there for the veteran. But I don't know. This reeks. Hey, maybe that's why the VA's been blowing up my phone lately. You know so much is that the VA's like, would you like to try our automated message system? Yes. So you hit yes, right? And they send you a bunch of stuff, right? And then you'll get like a secured mail. I got a secured mail from the VA saying, answer your phone.
Oh no.
because I rely on the secure stuff, because I figure, hey, I'm on the move, and I look at the app and I go like, oh shit, you can log in there and I can grab all this information down. And I have all that, and then literally I'll see like a phone. I'm like, I don't recognize that number, because the VA has different numbers that I get called from. And I'm like, what's this? Oh, I don't think I can answer that. Oh, what's this? And then it was like really weird, because then I saw in my email, I got a notification of a secure messaging from a My Healthy Vet, and it said, answer your phone from this number.
Oh, I know. I never, ever answer my phone. If it's unknown, nothing. Yeah. So
right. Well,
they have to email me.
Well, my biggest thing is that I don't want to, in other words, if unless I'm seeing somebody specifically or I'm confirming an appointment, I know when my VA appointments are. I generally don't because a lot of it's also spam too. I mean, you'll get a spam call. You need to understand that the Veterans Administration is this. Well, what if I missed a call? That was one of those. What was that? I should need to come back to the VA quick because of COVID shit we gave you. What if I missed that call? What if I missed an automatic call that says the COVID shit ain't working? If you're noticing itching on your face, or you're noticing you're having trouble breathing, or you're having small blisters on your toes, I'm just naming symptoms off. Like I'm like WebMD and everybody right now.
Rectal bleeding.
Yeah, if you have rectal bleeding, yeah, exactly, or an erection for 4 hours or more. Shit. What do you do? Oh, what if it's one of those phone calls that I'm supposed to get, and it's because I took the COVID shit. And I neglect to answer the phone because I always blow the phone off or something like that, or instead when I just use, and that's it. That's my nightmare scenario. A veteran. Hey, go ahead and have a movie pitch. Maybe we should have Adam Simon coming on here, and we'll pitch a movie about the VA's COVID clinical quote unquote trials for veterans. In a dark
It's absolutely
world.
another reason for me not to take it because I'm not going to answer my phone if you do not show up. Even if you are like my best friend or my daughter, and if my phone's on Do Not Disturb, their texts don't even come through because it's on Do Not Disturb like 24 hours a day now because there's absolutely no reason for anybody to call me, like, ever. So, yeah, I'm not getting your call.
Yeah.
It's from the VA. That's why I can't take the COVID trial. There. Now I have a valid
Then I have a reason because I scared you because you answered the phone. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. If like for instance, I prefer to FaceTime. But like if I want to talk to somebody, and you want to FaceTime me. I mean, because we and you talk. That's how sometimes we have to talk, and so we'll.
I know.
We will face.
I know. You do this to me, like surprise FaceTime me. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, because
Fine.
no.
Well, put a shirt on real quick and answer the phone.
Yeah, I remember that phone call. Oops, I'm sorry. But it's one of those things to where, like I said, that's like a horror story, late, just based on true events. Oh shit, what's this about? And then you click on Netflix and it's like, November 2020, a veteran goes to the VA and gets a COVID shot and neglects to answer all of his fucking phone calls. And there's like panic freaking messages on My Healthy Vet. That's like a scenario right there. And then wondering why? It's because all the veterans are turning into zombies. I don't want to freak everybody out. This is pure hyperbole, and I'm just joking. Facebook, let me freaking deplatforming us.
None of this is real,
yeah.
except for the VA.
All my friends will be like, "Why would you say something like that?" I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Yeah, I'm What I don't want to do is I don't want to panic and have the VA. Well, see, there you go. WTF Nation Radio, WTF moments are spreading disinformation. Now everything's fake news and disinformation. Well, no, wait. Isn't it if we have a new administration, now it's no longer fake news? Is that what it is? Is that no longer disinformation? Can we? I don't know. It's not the Monday edition, but
I have no idea. I just see all these warning labels on every single thing I read online now, so I ignore absolutely all warning labels. That's what happens when you start slapping warning labels on everything. So I have no idea what's going on.
Like what?
Well, like this tweet has been disputed, or this has been fact checked, or this. I just ignore all of those now. So that's what happens, like when you start overly warning me that I need to pay attention to.
Right.
You Zuckerberg, or you whoever owns Twitter, or you.
Right.
I don't need to be taught civics by Facebook.
No, I don't.
No, I just ignore.
There's a meme that. There's a meme that I kind of go by that I'm going to repeat that'll probably get us zucked or something like that. Is that if you don't mind, what is it? If you don't mind Facebook verifying your information, then I'm pretty sure you won't mind the American people verifying the election. You know what I mean? It's kind of like out of my hands type of thing. Out of my hands and all that. Then I can understand. I think everyone. I mean, just joking around, of course. I mean, yeah, we're not. I don't think we're going to turn to zombies. I'm not going to sit there and look at it, and then I'm not going to, get involved in the whatever. If you had COVID and you didn't have COVID or whatever, like I said, we already talked about my COVID experience, and it just didn't seem like I had it. I don't want to sit there and say.
Yeah. And I just want to say sorry, John. We don't do video on Thursdays. Yeah, you guys don't want to see us. We don't want to get dressed on Thursdays.
Right.
Either.
I'm usually I'm sitting here, I'm just in a t-shirt and Ranger panties and just I don't know, my feet are up. That's why you're hearing like movement.
I know. I'm in a tank top and jammy shorts. I got my hair. I already took my makeup off as soon as I got home. Got my hair up in a bun. This is not something y'all want to see online. That's why we were just sitting here chilling.
Yeah, exactly. So we're sorry. We're sorry, John. But don't worry. In the future, there will be video. I mean, for right now, there is no video. But in future times, there will be. There'll be some video. But and then you can see our. So right now, I'm at a day 18 now of No Shave November. If you guys, I know you guys were talking about that.
Is it 18 or 19? Today's 19.
No. I said I was. I remember I started. Remember I said I started a day late.
Easter.
So I'm at day 18. So No Shave November. If you guys don't know, I know we talked about it before. I thought it was just kind of like a joke or something like that until my daughter brought it up, and she said it was about that you use your money that you would save, the money that you would use for going to the barbers or buying shaving accoutrements. You use that for use that to donate to any cause that has to do with like the American Lung Association and all that. So what's going to happen is that I will, at the end of the month, what's like next week, I will say, okay, I'm gonna ask my kid, what charity do you want to donate to, and then there you go. That'll be it. That'll be. I don't know. I might do it. I want to ask my kid if she wants me to keep the beard.
I think you should, just for a little while. But yes,
think?
Yeah, that's the thing about No Shave November is like what you would have spent shaving, you're supposed to donate that money. Because shaving's not free. It costs money for razor blades and shaving cream, and it might not be much, but that stuff's not free. So that I think isn't that the point behind No Shave November is to donate that money to charity.
Correct.
Yeah.
I know my daughter. When she did that, she grew her hair out she did it for a year, and donated it for kids. So that way, for kids hospital. So that way, when little girls they lose their hair for chemotherapy. So she cut her hair, and so her hair is now donated to a charity. So I just thought that was pretty cool. She asked me to do it. So I don't know. I'll see. I'll ask her again. She's the approval authority for my, what do I need to do this, or is she like, Dad, you need to like shave? Don't shave or whatever. So, but yeah. Shit. What time is it? Oh man, it's already 21:30. So what, housekeeping or something like that? Oh.
Yeah, get out the lemon pledge.
Get out the lemon pledge. Start spraying some stuff down. We had a surprise call from Joe Bashina tonight talking about the Dragon Innovation Program, the Dragon's Lair. So I think that's pretty cool. Thanks, Joe, for calling, and congratulations to Specialist Trevor Cross from the Rakasans, 101st Airborne Division. Air Assault. They should just be called the Air Assault Division. Then I don't want to hate on them, but there's only one Airborne Division. And that's the 82nd. Like I said, I'm partial. I don't want everybody to sit there and say, "Go." What was it? What was that comment that he said back at Bragg? No, not back at Bragg.
It always comes up at least once.
It always comes up once, yeah. So again,
that's why we got to rename for it.
Right. Exactly. At any rate, next, we don't have a guest on. Shit, we don't have a guest for Friday. We don't have a guest until Monday. What was it, the 30th or something like that?
Yes,
I'm sorry, the 23rd.
Out of this.
No, the 23rd we have Julia Pra. She's going to come on and shoot the shit with us. That's right. She was going to be talking about her Monday edition book story about stories of the 2020 civil unrest in Washington, D.C. We had that individual that came and shot the shit with us. He was the individual that told all the guardsmen how to stand in formation. Remember that?
Oh, yes. I do.
He came on and talked with us. But she is a National Guards woman, guardsman. I'll just say guardsman because that's what their official title of address. And I don't want to. Of course, everyone's going to hate me for mispronouncing or whatever that is. But it's Air National Guardsman. At any rate, her experiences of the streets of D.C. to protect the people and our nation's capital to attempt to stop all the destruction of monuments and local businesses. I kind of want to know. I mean, this is some good stuff. I wanted to talk about because no one didn't do anything to freaking. I don't know. I don't think anybody highlighted what was happening at all when it came to the to the riots, or back when I guess there was the only thing we had, that helicopter that was flying low. At any rate, so and then the 30th on the Monday, we're gonna have Army veteran Fred Lewis, a special operations friend of mine, to be he's from the Discovery Channel's Gold Rush, and will be on to talk about how he went from special forces to he was a special forces medic, and he went to this new show called Gold Rush. So the Discovery Channel is coming to the WTF Nation. I can't wait. You might see, I don't know, you might see us, some pictures there, but it's going to be an awesome show. Don't forget, we have if you guys saw, we had a drive going on currently with WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments, the All Warrior Network, and we are the mighty and awesome shit, my drill sergeant said, have teamed up with Honey and Team Rubicon. And we have a little shopping tool that searches the internet for the best deals to help you save money. For each of the downloads, Honey will be downloading $1 to Team Rubicon. If you guys know that Team Rubicon is a veteran-run nonprofit that that uses the experiences of military veterans and first responders to deploy rapidly to emergency response teams emergency response teams to areas hit by disasters from the hurricanes that we've had recently. So at any rate, they're a good cause. So the link will go up as soon as the show's over. You saw the commercial with all of us talking and all that. So anyways, so other than that, we got a show 4 times a week. Don't forget, we also have the Grunts Gaming Network, our little gamer nerds, gamer kids. I've been hanging out with them playing Star Wars Squadrons. So if you follow them and you check it out, they also had they were a guest of the Wounded Warrior Project's Warrior Week. So it was pretty cool, great experience. But again, Grunts Gaming Network, and of course U.S. Army WTF Moments, WTF Nation Radio, and of course where'd Buzz go? U.S. Space Force WTF Moments. Actual Space Force individuals are in that running that page. And I think next in January they're going to have a recruitment drive. So if you listen or you're a member of the Space Force or Space Command, they're going to have tryouts, I guess. I don't know what coding nerd crap they do, but they are legit members of the Space Force. So we're excited that wish them luck on that endeavor. But other than that, you got anything for me, Spanky, before we take off?
I do not. We will not be here next Thursday.
Oh shit! Thanks for that reminder. That's right. Because next week's that
mashed potato day.
It's candy yams and pumpkin pie, and
right.
Me and Baby Ice are gonna cook up. I don't know. I think it'll be like the smallest turkey we've ever had, but we'll be all right. We'll have some fixins and some mashed potatoes and some of that buttered candied carrots and some peas and turkey.
So hungry now.
Oh my god, I know, man. I'm just thinking about all the chow. Maybe have some seasoned mashed potatoes. Start to work on the tamales. We gotta get working on the tamales. I gotta call my mom so that way I can get some of the tamale recipes of excellence.
I want some ice ball tamales.
Oh my god, man. Yeah, Mama Ice can you want some ice tamales? Shit, maybe I should just fly out. Hang out with you.
Do it. Bring tamales.
Do they got to go to a COVID test or something like that? Me and Baby I's gonna sit there and get, he's not
me and the girl just, she got off quarantine. She was allowed to go back to school today. We are all like, COVID free here.
Yeah.
Bring tamales.
Yeah, I know. So, real funny about the COVID stuff and wearing a mask and all that. The kid has a mask, and it's a red panda, and it has a psyop gray beret on it on its, and it says obey, right? And he was wearing it, and we were driving down the road, and he was playing with it, and he took off. He took it off, and all I see in my rearview mirror is the thing freaking flying in the background. Like, all I saw was this little mask whirling behind my truck as we were driving. So I had to damn it, I got to first I got to shut off the window thing, because before he didn't give a fuck about rolling down the windows. He was chill, but now he likes to play with buttons, latches, switches, and all that. So he lowered the window down, which I looked behind me, I'm like, that's not a big deal. And I saw him grab his little mask, and he just was waving it like a flag, and then he let go of it, and I just saw it flurrying behind me. I'm like, you little shit. But yeah, I have to figure something out. Yeah, it was no balls. I should fly out. So, but anyways, okay. Well, y'all, thank you for joining. We're gonna do one last video for 18th Airborne Corps. We're gonna play from a friend of mine, Sergeant Major Noggle, the producer of the Dragon's Lair. So, other than that, you all have a good night, and I don't know, shots. See you.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planet of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. Though critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant Major Michael Noggle again from 18th Airborne Corps. Listen, I just want to thank everyone for following us during the Dragon's Lair episode. We had some really good ideas, and we really appreciate everyone following us. That's it. We wrapped it up. Dragon's Lair 2 is complete. We're just gonna... What?
Complete? No. We've got a ton more people submitting ideas. This ain't over. No.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to get back after it. So we need all of our innovators to continue submitting their ideas, and we want to continue to hear from you. Dragon's Lair Episode 3 coming back mid-January. We hope to see you all there. Continue to follow us on our social media platforms, and we want to hear from you. Thanks a lot, and have a good holiday season.